Philadelphia, are you ready?
They said, are you ready?
This is Brotherly Love Wrestling Podcast, your first stop for everything professional wrestling. So sit back and enjoy wrestling talk at its finest with your hosts, Larry Hall and Joe Corrado.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Brotherly Love Wrestling Presents Fallout. And we switched it up a little bit with Fallout, expanding it, less rules, more topics, and talking wrestling. So, Joe, it's good to see you.
Sorry,
the show has started.
I'm just getting caught up and also checking the Phillies score.
We're still winning.
6-0.
Okay. That works. So the first topic I want to talk about was probably the most popular thing going on right now is the heel turn and alignment with Paul Heyman from Roman Reigns, and then him winning the title last night at Payback.
So we're just talking about everything
that comes with the whole package deal that we've seen over the past 4 days or 3 days.
All right, we're not going to bring it back to SummerSlam?
We will, yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, I guess we can.
That'd be the starting point?
Yeah, sure. His return, I guess, yeah.
Did we talk about his return?
We have not.
Because our live show was before SummerSlam, correct?
Yes, yeah.
All right. Well, the fact that he came back and the way that he came back, I think that was the way that everybody wanted to see him. This is kind of what everyone's been – everyone in the world has been saying, when are they going to turn Roman Reigns heel? I mean, are we considering him a heel, I'm assuming?
Probably, yeah.
They'll never go out and tell you. They'll never come out and just say it, but we're considering him a heel right now?
Yes.
Because the normal superhero Roman Reigns wouldn't have just come out and beaten people up with a steel chair for no reason?
Or signed the contract for the match while the match was going on or anything like that.
So, yeah, if we're going to consider him a full-blown heel or just a babyface – no, he's not a babyface. A tweener doing heelish tendencies.
Mm-hmm.
I like the way that they're doing it. It really wasn't that much of a tweak. Now they're just being blatant with it.
Yeah.
He was getting pushed before, but he was getting pushed before with this stale – persona that he had, and he was just this uber good guy, and they really went overboard with the whole thing. They didn't really change anything up. He's still getting pushed. He's just getting pushed without the frickin' over baby-faced Roman Reigns. I mean, It's not the only thing that's going to change. He's still going to be pushed. This is just kind of like a smoke screen, being like, all right, well, this is what you wanted. This is what you got.
Yeah.
You're getting heel Roman Reigns, but he's going to do everything that we've been telling you we wanted him to be doing, is winning all these matches, winning these championships, but now you get him your way. But he's still going to win. He's not going to lose. He's still going to win all these matches. He's still going to come back and beat the guy. We're just blatantly telling you that now. Mm-hmm. We were trying to give him this character where we can get him over with the crowd. You didn't want to. You said we were shoving them down your throats. Well, guess what? Now you're getting them shoved down your throats, but we're blatantly telling you why we're doing it.
Yeah.
Look,
I think
you didn't want to accept him here. Now you're going to accept him here.
Well, and not only that, the pairing with Heyman, I mean, that's the ultimate. It's what everybody wanted for him, because one of the biggest knocks on Roman is his promo work and him on the mic. And there you go. There's your perfect guy, is Paul Heyman. I mean, you can't get much better.
They're giving you everything that you've asked for, and people are still complaining. People will always complain, but there is still a knock on this whole thing. They're giving you everything you've asked for, everything. But you're still finding a way to complain because he came in and he signed the contract right before he came to the ring. There was nothing that was said that contract expired at the end of the night. There was nothing ever said that this contract expires. This is fucking wrestling. This is where you're supposed to be able to escape and have a little imagination when you're watching and being able to accept different creativities that come in front of you. It is ridiculous to get mad that, that shouldn't have happened. He shouldn't have won the title like that. You just find anything to complain about. Now, I've heard that people were saying that, well, if Otis would have came in and cashed in, that would have made more sense. No one would have complained if that happened. So basically they're saying that Roman Reigns had the Money in the Bank contract without actually having the Money in the Bank briefcase. That makes
no fucking sense whatsoever. That makes no sense.
People are upset that they can't get over the fact that they just don't like Roman, and they just have this predetermined hatred for them, even though they're getting everything that they wanted. They wanted the heel Roman Reigns that's in your face, the cocky, arrogant heel. Well, guess what? Now he's that. He's making his own rules. Like, why does it have to make complete sense? That's what I'm saying. Like, there's nothing in wrestling right now that will ever make complete sense. You literally, on a fucking brand, have someone that you're not a brand, a company that you're posing off as a fucking real dinosaur. But we want it to be real. We want it to be real. We're having someone who's 5'3" legitimately trying to fight someone that's 6'4". It's the land of make-believe.
Yeah.
And it's basically what it is, and everyone wants it to be so real. But then when it gets real, they're like, well, no, you went too far. You took it too far. They want it to be real. Everything wants it to make sense. So they bring something that's real in Jeff Hardy's life, which is alcoholism and DUIs and whatnot. They brought that in. That's real. No, we don't want it to be that real. We want it to be kind of real, but kind of fake at the same time. Yeah. You took it too far. But Roman coming in and signing a contract right in front before he enters the match and wins the match, that's not real enough. That should have never happened. It doesn't make sense. Shit doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense everywhere.
See, the problem, and it's said 1,000 times by countless people, no one hates wrestling more than wrestling fans. And that's the God-honest truth. Like, no one can ever be happy. Now, I'm not a big Roman Reigns fan, period. But do I like him with Heyman? Cool, yeah, I do because I like Heyman. But doesn't make me like Roman Reigns anymore because he's with Heyman. I just know at least Heyman's going to get on TV more.
I've come to the conclusion that I am whoever the majority is starting to hate, or the overwhelmingly vocal majority that voice their opinion, they make me like things either more or they make me like things less, depending on what they're trying to run down your throat. The being the cool thing to hate Roman Reigns, that just made me like him more. That made me appreciate him more, that he's garnering this much. If he was he was still the most talked about every week. Every week when he's on the show. Mm-hmm. He's still the most talked about. Whether you're talking about him, how much you hate his character, he's still being talked about. And like it or not, that's what you do it. That's why you do it. Yeah. Yeah. Now, I want to sidetrack us because I have a question for you, and I think we kind of fit it into this mid topic. Okay. Quasi topic? Subtopic?
Whatever. Subtopic.
Do you think that being negative and criticizing wrestling is actually benefiting or hurting the wrestling business? Now, people's main argument normally for criticizing is they want it to be better. We're using our voice to make it better. That's what they think. Are they right?
All right. So, and I think this can go to many walks of life, and you can apply it different areas. So, like, And look, I coached basketball for 3 years, 8th and 9th graders, and you had to see how you coach them, because you could be very negative and get in their face and yell and scream at them and what they did wrong, because you just want them to be better. And then there's the other way of doing it, of supporting it, and you know what I mean? It's just coaching. That's what that is. The same thing being a fan and criticizing, oh, well, I wish they would do this, and if they did this, I would like that. It's the same thing as hockey fans. I mean, we watch a Flyers game, the Flyers got their ass beat, and it's, man, I wish they would attack the zone more. They got to stop giving up the puck. They suck. Why are they doing this? And then, you know what I mean? Then there's the fans that don't do that. And they can fix it. It'll be good next game. And it's the same thing with wrestling. Like, there's other chapters. Next week, there's another show, and another script will be written, and more characters can be changed. So, like, I think criticizing it, yeah, I actually think it kind of hurts it. Because what good are you doing? Yeah, you're sitting at home and you're bitching and complaining about it. You can't do anything about it. They're not going to really listen to you as the just fan sitting on the couch Monday morning quarterbacking. I mean, it's just, you can't do it.
But what if those fans get a following, and what if those fans get some notoriety, and what if those fans start agreeing to the people that are higher up, not higher up in the wrestling industry, just to higher up in their follower and fan base?
You're still not doing anything. You're getting like-minded people to follow you and agree with you, and might make you feel like you're right.
Is it helping or is it hurting?
No,
in the grand scheme, does the criticizing and analyzing of wrestling by fans, is that helping or hurting? And I will tell you my viewpoint after.
I don't see it doing either. I know that may be a cop-out answer, but it's not helping it any. You're not seeing any results from bitching and complaining the whole time. But all the bitching and complaining that goes on, people are still watching the product. People are still complaining about the product every week. I don't think it hurts or helps the business either way. I don't think it does.
For something to succeed, they have to be able to lock in and get those eyes. They have to be able to keep up with trends and keep things fresh, and at the end of the day, gain new eyes and gain more and more and more. Now, if you have people that are just overly criticizing and they have something to say about everything, I think that's where you cut off some of the fans that you can grow. When the people are just overly criticizing it all the time, like, how are you helping wrestling by doing that? How are you ever going to, because they don't book things the way that you think that they should be booked, because those viewpoints have to be right, how is that helping the business?
No, I mean, that's a really good point. The only thing, when you said that, I thought of was the exact opposite of that. And like you said, with AEW fans and being so overly positive of everything and that group of fans. Now, say someone goes off, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. You have to see what's on TNT Wednesday nights. Now, yeah, the main goal is met because you got an eye. But to that person, they're like, this is stupid. It's all over the place. I can't follow it. Who is that? I don't know who that is. I don't know any of these guys. And just turns it off. But you did accomplish a mission by getting a viewer to even turn it on who maybe wouldn't have. But I don't know, like, over positivity, like you said, hurts too. But I think when you're that overly positive, it turns people off, like you said. Like, with the over negative, over positive, same way. It makes you dislike it because people keep doing that.
I just feel like the criticisms that I don't feel like they're constructive. I don't feel like they're actually benefiting. Like, I feel like there's a lot more bitching and a lot less solutions.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the internet. That's social media.
and everyone's got a different opinion of how they would want to solve it. So if you were to try and please just a small group of people.
You mean like viewers 18 to 35?
Is that the majority or the minority?
For AEW, it's the majority. That's who you gear to. It's gearing to one set.
Well, they limit themselves in that. We already know that. We've already went over that several times.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of negativity about, especially the WWE product. I think that there's just so much negativity that's drawn to it. And why? Why is there that much negativity? Is it because there's jealousy because that they've been doing it for so long that they still find a way to become successful? So you have to try and knock them down a couple pegs so your listeners and your followers can be like, ha 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 ha, yeah, he's right, and they can ride on your dick. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that you want to listen to someone be so negative instead of just trying to enjoy the product itself. Like, you find more joy in watching someone be negative and shit all over something than you do actually watching and enjoying the wrestling product.
Well, and with WWE's product, that's the thing. It's cool to hate it. It's cool to not like everybody they're pushing. It's cool to hate Asuka. It's cool. Like, it's just something I never understood it.
Huh? Of all people, it's not cool to hate Asuka.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I've seen people trash Asuka on social media. I don't understand it. I
don't know how I haven't seen this because she's like one of the most praised wrestlers right now.
I've seen tweet here, tweet there, even on Facebook. Actually, I've seen nothing more on Facebook than I even do on Twitter. But it's just I don't understand. I don't understand why it's cool to shit on the WWE.
Even when they put on two back-to-back good shows. I thought SummerSlam and Payback were two of their better shows.
SummerSlam definitely was. Payback was. Don't get me wrong. I don't think Payback was bad. I wasn't a big fan of the Mysterio and Rollins feud. I'm kind of done with that, and I was done with it. So
I'm good if it turns into a Murphy Rollins feud.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Something new. I'm already done with it. It's done for me. But let's move on. I do want to talk about now, since Paul Heyman is with Roman Reigns now, the former client for Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar, now everyone was wondering what he would think. And so people started looking him up, I guess, on the WWE website, and his merch was gone. His name was gone. And he is now a free agent, apparently, because they haven't come to an agreement on a contract. So what do you think? Lesnar's just waiting this out? Do you think he's really done with WWE? And, I mean, it's a guaranteed paycheck anytime he wants, really.
I don't think he goes anywhere else unless Dana White offers him a shit ton of money for one-off fight against someone.
Yeah.
That would be the only other place I could see him going. I don't think he's going to AEW.
No, I think that's too small time there, unfortunately.
Especially with the demands he'd have. He's not putting over any of those new guys.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to walk through that, and rightfully so. He's going to walk through that whole company.
Yeah.
I mean, I think when COVID dies down, I think he re-signs for big money. I think they're going to try and lock him in for probably maybe Rumble and kind of have no one talking about him, and then him be in the Rumble. Could see that happening just to set up something for fucking Mania. Yeah, because they love bringing Lesnar around for Mania season. So I don't think he's done with WWE. He had the cakiest cake job of all time. He literally got paid to come in, win a championship, go on hiatus, come back, get a bigger payday in Saudi Arabia, still get your money from the fucking contract. I mean, that dude was living large. And I know fucking Tony Khan's got money, but they don't know what to fucking do with Lesnar over there. They're going to try and reinvent Brock Lesnar. And he don't fit with that whole schematic. I know money. I know with Lesnar and money, but I think when all's said and done, I think Lesnar actually has a loyalty to Vince.
He could, most likely.
I think he's one of those guys that Vince usually did right by him, and he's continuing to do right by him now by just paying him a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
As a special attraction as he is. I think he likes that shit. I think he's more meant for the big stage WWE anyway.
Yeah, I think so too. The machine is bigger.
Yeah, and I don't think he's fighting in UFC.
Nah, I can't see it happening either. I don't care what the super fight might be. I don't see any out there.
Not one that would be legitimate. I mean, he hasn't been in the ring in so long, or in the octagon in so long.
Yeah. So let's move on to AEW. Actually, earlier today, on Monday, Being the Elite came out. And at the very end of it, they cover kicking Hangman Page out of the Elite. And at the very end, Kenny Omega is in his car. And in the rearview mirror, you see him with the sunglasses on, the cleaner sunglasses. That very little tease at the end seems to suggest that we might be seeing the cleaner in AEW. Now that it's kind of weird between the Elite, I don't know.
As much as I like Being the Elite, I think that it's hard for them to run that because not every one of their fans watches Being the Elite. I can't believe that they do. So if they bring those storylines and those, like they're assuming that people are watching that, and they're assuming that people are going to be able to correlate that when it comes back onto TNT for the actual show. And I think sometimes people just miss it, and when they're doing it, they're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it!" Like, okay, like what did I miss? And I feel like they have so much going on that's not just the main TV. Like they put social media to good use, but I don't know. I don't see how the storyline just being that on TV is gonna make any sense. Like right now, Hangman's out and out with the Elite, so are we in the assumption that the Elite are gonna all turn bad? Because if Kenny's the cleaner, and the Bucks are with Kenny, and they're still the Elite, do they just all turn, and then that pushes Hangman into a big babyface role? Or I know they don't believe in that over there. That's the thing, though. That's part of it that loses me, that they don't believe in that over there. It just gets confusing because they're able to bounce back and forth whenever they want. They're able to do this. They're able to cut a promo saying, "Oh, blah 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 blah," real babyface promo, but then on the next week they're able to hit someone with a chair and cheat. I feel like some of their characters are just so all over the place.
So you want them to stick more to kayfabe?
I think the only constant is MJF. The only constant is him. Because you got to figure Cody's supposed to be this big baby face, but he doesn't believe in baby faces. He's the guy that preaches doing the right thing, do the work and all that. But he still uses heel tactics in matches. Like, I feel like just character work. Like, I know it's cool and it's hip to be this outsider type mentality, and we do things how we want it, and we're trying to change the world of wrestling, but some of it doesn't make sense. And I know I was saying in the WWE,
I was going to say that
Roman Reigns thing, that it doesn't always have to make sense. And it's true, and it's right. I mean, that's right. It doesn't always have to make sense. It's wrestling. It's just that it's sometimes confusing.
Well, and I think that's the thing is that, like, even though we're right in there towards the end of their demo that they won, there's a lot of things that we look at each other and go, I didn't get it. Like, I mean, I got what they were doing, but, like, it didn't pull us in. It didn't interest us. And, like, I don't know if it's because we're at the end, we're coming to the end of that demo, and are we that out of touch with that, like, what that is? Like, I don't know. I don't know what it is.
I think it is because if you look at who we follow there, I mean, we follow Janelle because we've seen him at GCW. We follow Orange Cassidy because we've seen him in the Indies and he's spectacular. We follow Jericho because he's who he is. Matt Hardy because he is who he is, because where he came from and what he was doing. We follow the Elite because we watch them over in New Japan and Ring of Honor and elsewhere. It's just that some of the newer talent that we just can't relate to, like the Darby Allin and the Sammy Guevara, the young punk kids that are literally kids. They're like 20-some years old. But it's just that we don't – it's that gap.
But see, with that and MJF, I love everything he does. The second I see, if I'm fast-forwarding past something on Dynamite and I see in a second of MJF, I'm stopping immediately. He pulls you in. It's just maybe it's because he's more old-school heel, and that's why I like it.
Yeah. He's like a cross between Mr. Perfect. Say he's got a little Rick Rude in him. And who else would you equate his heel work
I
to?
mean, as far as character-wise, I look at, like, Triple H's Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Like the stuck-up, you know what I mean? I mean, not exactly that, but, like, a touch of it.
Like the model Rick Martel.
There you go. Yeah. That's a little bit better.
If he only had his own scent. Dude,
true,
love that. I love that type of shit. I love that. Those corny ass fucking heels that were just they just had character. Yeah, they were pompous assholes, but that was the whole fun in it.
Yeah.
It really was. And when you watch it back nowadays, like, it still holds up. Like, it's still great.
Every Sunday morning, but when I wake up, I make it a point to watch WWF Superstars. One every Sunday morning. From like 7 in the morning, 7:30, whenever I wake up, and watch one episode every week. And I'm just going through from where they start on the network all the way through. I just want to keep going. Like, and it's so much fun to watch those characters now as a knowledgeable fan, but back then watching it live when it was happening. So it's really cool to be able to go back and see some of this stuff.
Yeah, because you know what you felt when you were young and you were watching it, because you actually believed everything that you were hearing, and you're like, this guy is an asshole.
Yeah.
Or this guy's a jerk, depending on your language preference.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really fun to do that.
And nowadays you appreciate it because they were really good at what they were doing.
Exactly.
They made you believe that that's who they were, and that's exactly what MJF does. He makes you believe that that's him.
Yes. Yeah. So, well, let's move on to and stay with AEW, but let's move on to Saturday night, All Out, the quintessential AEW pay-per-view. This is where everything started for them. It was All In. So All Out is a big-time pay-per-view for them. It's a really good card, which they can put on really good pay-per-views. All Out, they always seem to knock out of the park. I cannot wait to see this Mimosa Mayhem match. Like, this is my favorite thing in AEW is Jericho and Orange. I love everything about this. I just think it's going to be ridiculous.
This screams WCW.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, screams it. Like, this is like the reincarnation of a WCW stipulation match.
Yeah.
It's got the name and all. It's like, I feel like it's 1996 again or 1995.
I love that the match can be won by pinfall, submission, or throwing your opponent into a tank of mimosa. Like, I love the ending of the stipulation. That's great.
So, Jericho's got to go into the mimosa because his overselling of it is going to be perfect.
Yes, absolutely.
And at this point, Orange Cassidy no-selling it would actually hurt it.
Yes, exactly.
Unless he gets thrown into the mimosa and becomes like a superhuman.
Which could also happen knowing Orange's gimmick.
Yeah. It's going to be goofy.
It is. It's one where I can just check out and enjoy it just being silly and entertaining.
Yeah, because that's exactly what it's going to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But the question is, do you think they're taking the title off of Jon Moxley and putting it on MJF?
Do I think they're going to?
Yeah.
I think it's a perfect time to.
Because he can't use the paradigm shift finisher. That's a stipulation in the match.
I think it's a perfect time to. I think MJF wins and Moxley chases. I don't overly think that Moxley is the perfect champion for this company. I think Moxley.
I still don't see it with Moxley. There's one of those things. I still don't see it. I see a Dean Ambrose that can curse.
I think he's always been a good chaser, though. I feel like he's put on some of his best work and best promo work when he's chasing the title, when he's able to go a little crazy. Like, I think that's meant for him.
Yeah, that character, how good is it that he's the guy? Because he can't do anything crazy. I agree.
I feel like when he's actually after someone, because he's the top dog, everyone's after him. I feel like when he's actually after someone, he's able to lock into his character a little bit more, and he's actually able to go a little bit more demented with it. And he used to do that in the WWE as well. He used to get, when he was actually had a goal to chase, he was always seemed to be better like that. And I think having MJF cheat to win or something, because let's face it, it's MJF and he probably should. Yeah. That's how he got his record as it is, usually cheated to win. So have him win. Don't end it right there. Have Moxley absolutely go apeshit for losing his title and just seek vengeance on MJF.
Yeah, that'd be an entertaining program. I hope it happens that way. I hope they do take the title.
It's already an entertaining program, but it can take a serious 180, and then you can do Moxley as a psycho serial killer and fucking MJF as the scared pussy heel who's hiding, who has to hide behind Wardlow.
Yeah, I think it pretty much writes itself.
I think I think it's something that would help their main event scene, having them two kind of run back and forth with each other. So I really don't think anyone else is at that level.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I think
Cage is close.
I
think Hangman, obviously.
For the main event, I'd say their main event picture would be Omega. Put him in the main event picture because he's long overdue to be back in there. Who did you just say?
Cage.
I don't think Cage is there yet. I think he's still working at it. Hoyt could probably do it. I think Cody's always there.
Even though he can't challenge for the title.
Even though he can. I think he's always just ready for that. But I think those are your top guys right now. Brody Lee's starting to catch stride with everything. I mean, him winning that title was right. It helps him and doesn't hurt him. I mean, if he would have lost again, that probably would have hurt him. And he's leading a faction that's supposed to be taken seriously for the most part. I mean,
except on being the elite, because they are hilarious on being the elite.
Completely ridiculous, which is actually entertaining. It's entertaining. It would be great if they could bring that onto the TV, because I think that's pretty entertaining. But I get they want to be the serious faction right now. But, I mean, the main event picture is kind of slim.
I like who's there now. I agree with them two being the top guys and going for it. So I think it's probably one of the best decisions they've made in building this card.
I'm interested to see if they have any surprises up their sleeve, if they have any tricks up their sleeve. Even if it's something small. I mean, I know you got the Casino Battle Royal. It might be nice to maybe introduce a couple people. Maybe, I mean, if they brought in Warhorse for that, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely get a pop out of it.
A couple other people out of the indies, if they could bring them in, that'd be pretty cool.
Well, I'm interested in we both always are, is interested in Matt Hardy. And the Matt Hardy-Guevara storyline, the Broken Rules match that they're going to have on Saturday night.
That'll be another one that'll be fucking goofy.
Yeah.
I mean, if Matt Hardy's producing it, it's going to be fucking weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be entertaining, but it's going to be weird as hell.
Yeah, I agree. So, I mean, other than that, it should be a very, very good pay-per-view.
Is there a women's match announced? Oh, it's
Sheeta versus Thunder Rosa.
That'll be a good match.
Yeah. Hopefully they get the time.
They will. Sheeta gets the time. She gets the time when they have over 2 hours to go. I mean, they're on pay-per-view. They have a longer time rate, so they can give her 20, 25. I mean, her and Nyla went probably 20, close to 20, maybe a little over 20 for their title match. Yeah. This will be the same thing. You also have someone. You're also bringing in the NWA Women's Champion, which is nice. I mean, you get to highlight her now on the bigger stage. So they need to really work on the women's division. I mean, you see what WWE does, and even NXT. They're going to give 1 or 2 or 3 women's matches for a pay-per-view. They need to get to that point of where they can have 2 to 3 women's matches and actually be something that's entertaining and not just a write-off. They need to build that division. They need to
it's too good to not be featured because they do have a lot of great talent there.
Here's the thing. They need to do more with this tag division. I know they have so many different tag teams. They have almost every great tag team in wrestling right now.
Mm-hmm.
They can seriously revolve a whole pay-per-view around that. They need to, and they only have 2 hours of TV, which is part of their downfall because they're not able to highlight everybody that they have. Yeah. So they continue to highlight the same people.
Which becomes a problem, which is why they can't just sign all kinds of AEW people.
What are the odds?
AEW can't sign all former WWE people. Switch that all around.
Okay. What are the odds that we get Pac back? Or as JR calls him, Pac?
I don't know.
Is he able to get back into the country yet?
I have no idea. I haven't heard an update on that in a long time, so I have no idea. That's a big loss for them, too.
Yeah. Talk about one of the top heels in the company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I hope so, though. I mean, he put on some great the match he had with why am I blanking?
Is it Omega?
Yeah, so Omega. Thank you. But there's so many more possible matches that he could have on AEW that I hope he gets back anyway. Yeah. So I'm going to end the show with this last one. And because Naito recently won back, I think it was this morning, early this morning.
This morning or
one of those, off with all the hour difference. But, Naito won back both titles from Evil and is a 2-time double champion now for New Japan. But it might just only be me. I don't know. But, I feel that New Japan, since the departure of the Bucks and Kenny Omega and all them, it doesn't get the eyes or I guess even talked about by a lot of U.S. fans like it was a couple years back.
No, it definitely doesn't. Mm-hmm. I think since the Elite left, it hurt them big time over here, I think. especially now you don't have Omega over there. I think Omega was the big key draw for American fans.
Yes.
Him always being in that around that main event, I think that hurt. I don't think they lack talent. I think they have one of the most talented rosters in all of wrestling. Possibly the most talented. It's just that I think the time difference has something to do with it. I think the language barrier always has something to do with it. The style that you can't understand the promos and you don't really resonate with the characters. It's just different.
Mm.
But if you look at it for what it is, and it's just incredible in-ring wrestling, like it's the best actual wrestling.
Yeah, I agree. And they, like you said, they do have amazing talent. I mean, Jay White and Ibushi, and like the list goes on and on and on of how many great wrestlers they have out there. And
Well, it was all the Bullet Club. Bullet Club was the big draw.
yeah,
And the Bullet Club was always the big draw. So the Bullet Club kind of lost almost the remaining founding members. I think they only have 2 founding members left.
Yeah.
Maybe 3. But it's just that it doesn't have that same allure to the American fan.
Yeah.
And I know their junior heavyweight division has always been pretty strong, and they've always got a lot of eyes on them. I think Ospreay having a downfall a little bit over this quarantine and whatnot, and everything that came out about him, I think that hurts them too, because I don't think people are going to be as invested in Will Ospreay, and I think he was like their next big thing. He was like that. He actually was their next big thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that hurts them. They lose guys like Lance Archer. I mean, they took a pretty big hit.
Yeah. Yeah, you just don't hear about it like we used to. I mean, and that's how we found the Bucks and Kenny Omega was just by word of mouth, and how these guys were tearing it up, and then watching New Japan, and then falling in love with a lot of the other wrestlers who you were pleasantly surprised by watching one of their events. But now you just don't hear it. Like I was actually surprised. I didn't even know the title match was happening. And like that would never be the case 3 years ago.
I think them not having the fans either is big, because the spectacle that they put on for their pay-per-views was top notch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think that hurts as well.
Yeah, true. I didn't think about that. Well,
when it all comes down to it, it's always not having fans' fault.
True. I think that does it. That about wraps it up. That's all the topics we got.
I think it was a successful show-ish.
Showish?
Showish.
Cool announcement. Today we found out that Black Wrestlers Matter 2 will be happening.
Electric Boogaloo.
I
don't think they're going to call it that.
No, I don't think they will either. It'll be happening on Juneteenth, which is June 19th, 2021. So I can't wait to see what this card's going to be, because this last one was so good, and
it was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
It really was incredible.
Yeah,
and it's amazing that a lot of these guys and girls don't have steady work somewhere. You know what I mean? Like it was top-notch, entertaining wrestling, and it was well put together, and everything. I mean, you were able to follow it. It was so easy. It was fluent. It was easy to follow everything. Every match had its differences, but everything really told a story in the match. It was incredible.
Yep.
It was one of the events that I was able to. It was. The whole thing was just like, wow, this is great.
Yes. Yeah, from start to finish. Every match, no matter what, delivered. And it only got better. And by the time you got to ACH and JDX, it was insane. So we can't wait for that to come up. And also, violence and suffering. have just announced that they have a show coming up on October the 3rd. 4th? 4th. October the 4th. And it's
Williamstown, New Jersey.
Yes, Williamstown, New Jersey. So I think they just announced the first person signed was A.R. Fox.
Yes.
It's the first superstar. So he was on the last card. And hopefully goes a lot smoother than what the last card was. But, yeah, we can't wait to see what that card's going to be like. So and maybe we'll even get Isaac on and maybe get a match reveal. Try and get that happen.
We're pretty good at doing that, evidently.
We are, yeah. So we hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll be talking to you then.